Okay, so it is midnight for me right now, which means this is the perfect time for me to make a video. Obviously, I'm actually pretty tired right now, so if I ramble a little more than usual, that is why. Also, my AC is on in the background because I live in the middle of the desert and it is 100 degrees at midnight. To say that I am a big fan of South Park and understand the show on a spiritual level would probably be a huge understatement. I've watched the entire show from start to finish every single year whenever a new season is about to come out, and with the release of the specials on Paramount Plus, I've started doing it twice a year. And of course, since I love video games, the South Park video games are two of my favorite games of all time. South Park: The Stick of Truth was one of the first games I 100% completed more than once, and The Fractured But Whole was another game that I completed probably 3 or 4 times 100% through. That's because both of those games are amazing. If you haven't played either of them, go ahead and go do it, please. For me, can you please just do it? Even if you're not a huge fan of South Park, you can enjoy something about both of these games, whether it's the gameplay, whether it's the music, whether it's the charming art style, the voice acting, anything. I don't really have a lot to say about these two games that hasn't been said over the years. To me, these are easily the best IP-based video games ever created. I really don't think there's anything that even comes close to touching how they make you feel. It seriously feels like you are in an episode of South Park in the first game, and in The Fractured But Whole, it feels like you are playing a movie. It really does. I will say the second game feels a lot more video game-esque, with the combat system and the buddy system and all the achievements you get and all the side missions, and it is definitely longer. Like, I'd say the Stick of Truth, where it starts and where it ends, is actually very fast paced, and by the time you've completed the Stick of Truth, that same time that you've completed in The Fractured But Whole, you're about halfway through the game. So why am I talking about these two old video games from this amazing show, and why am I flexing my egotisticalness around my knowledge of South Park? It's because I sincerely believe that a third South Park game is being released soon. I'm not going to say it's being released this year, next year, or even 2025. I just think that we are going to get footage of it sometime soon. If you didn't know, South Park Studios signed a huge deal with Paramount and HBO Max, which basically pushes the show on through 2027, but it also means that they have to make a video game. The deal ends in 2027, and I definitely think we're going to get a game before 2027, because in 2021, it was seemingly announced and confirmed that the South Park third game was happening. If you didn't know, Ubisoft and Obsidian helped Matt and Trey with the first 2 games, and they were very heavily pushed, and they're not involved this time around. It seems like this game is going to be made in-house by Matt and Trey with help from Question Games. Question Games is a team that was... Did you guys just hear my cat interrupt that? Like, really? So Question Games was founded by ex-BioShock developers, and that makes me very excited because I'm pretty sure that these are developers that worked on the original BioShock, which if you've never played the original BioShock, I don't know what you're doing calling yourself a part of the gaming community. But Question Games has been involved with the other 2 South Park games, so for me, this makes me really excited. They're known for making games like Thief, and they've also made a game called The Magic Circle, which is a very satirical look into game development, and I think this is just another great studio to help metatextualize different aspects of the next game. The first 2 games already metatextualized gaming, genres, comedy, game development, all a bunch of different types of stuff, so this is a really good fit. One of the reasons that it's known that Question is being involved with this game is because there was actually a leak from a job posting that was basically just stating that they needed someone to help make a new video game set in the world of South Park. So this could be the third game, it could be a whole different game that we just don't know about. According to IGN's article, which, you know, it's IGN, so take it with a grain of salt, they said that the level designer role itself doesn't do too much. It doesn't give away too much. However, it does mention development using Unreal Engine, which is not surprising. And there's a multiplayer development experience that is needed. So Are we getting a multiplayer South Park game? I don't know. That would be, I think I would explode from happiness. Also, I know I said earlier that the show was running through its 30th season. It's actually its 30th anniversary. So we're definitely getting something big in 2027. But I feel like the game is going to come probably either end 2024 or like October 2025. I doubt it would release this year because we just don't know about it. My cat is running around in circles. I don't know if you guys heard that, but she was literally just chasing her own tail. I have a dog, not a cat. My cat is literally just a dog. I don't know. I think the other thing that intrigues me about this game a lot is how there is a lot of talk around how this game is changing from a very simplistic 2D appearance to a more 3D appearance this time around. Part of the reason that the Stick of Truth and the Fractured But Whole are just such great games is because they make you feel that charming feeling you get if you're an old South Park fan, or if you're someone who doesn't know too much about the world. You see the whole world in this 2D appearance, so I'm intrigued. Definitely nervous because 3D can be interesting. I don't know, when I think of like 3D animation, I think of like that Fairly Odd Parents Jimmy Neutron crossover when the 2D characters from the Fairly Odd Parents went to the Jimmy Neutron world and they looked like nightmare fuel. So I'm intrigued. By intrigued, I mean I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't want to see Eric Cartman in 3D. It makes me think of the Simpsons Hit and Run clone that they tried making back in the day. So I don't know. But I think the most exciting part about this is just how Matt and Trey seem to be fully in control of this game, which is something they both really love. If you take anything away from this video or any thing about South Park away, is that the creators really love what they do and they really want to have control over it. So I bet the last processes of making the other two games probably bugged them a little bit because they had to adhere to what Ubisoft wanted or what Obsidian wanted. So that's why this time around they're just making it in-house. Also, that streaming deal made them so much money, even though they are being sued. But I think Paramount is going to actually win that lawsuit. So I guess we have to wait and see what kind of game it's going to be. I definitely think we're getting something this year, if it's at Junefest or if it's at the end of the year at the Game Awards. Honestly, if Ubisoft was helping with this game, I could actually see it being at the Ubisoft Forward event, because they revealed gameplay for Assassin's Creed Mirage already, so I don't really know what their like huge reveal is going to be. But since they're doing it themselves, I mean, they could literally just do what they did with the Stick of Truth and tease it in an episode of South Park, which I would also be okay with. They should just make a whole nother movie and then tease it at the end of the movie. I'd be okay with that. I'd go see that in theaters. Man, I hope this game doesn't look like Simpsons Hit and Run.